you've hired the contractor, you've signed the agreement, you've paid the deposit. Now it's time for you, the homeowner, to prepare for the job. And I want to say this because after 30 years of doing this, there are all types of customers. And I've been in some customers that I'm telling you, the job, you want to make it, you want to make the contractor's job as easy as possible. Because the easier you make his job, the better job he's going to do for you. So you need to prepare for the job. Sometimes I can remember, I'll relate a job in Boston that I did one time in Roxbury. And I got to the house, and it was a basement apartment. And I knocked on the door, and the contractor had me go there to do a waterproof. I got jackhammers. I got 4 guys, 5 guys.
Right.
And all of a sudden, we knock on the door, and the people are still in bed where we got to do the work. And I mean, it's like 8:30. I'm trying to figure out what do we do now. Now hours are going by.
Right.
They're calling up the builder and saying to the builder, we're not getting up until 10 o'clock. And this could have all been alleviated by communication.
Right.
On the other hand, I have customers that when I get there, the crew gets there at 7 o'clock in the morning. The cars are moved out of the driveway. Right. They've got the walkways cleaned. Some people actually have the walk shoveled. Some don't,
So what made the difference? Like you said, communication. Maybe a call the night before, or just a reminder that we're going to be there. Maybe reviewing the process. Okay.
Well, that's good advice for the contractor.
Right.
But these are for homeowners. And homeowners, what they could do is just be prepared.
Yeah.
Anticipate that the contractor is going to need the driveway. Don't wait until 8 o'clock when he gets there, because now you've lost a half hour for you to get out, move your cars, him to move, and it cuts the momentum of the job. So a company like mine that wants our job done in 2 days, or 1 or 2 days, we want to go in and get out, and any little thing like that will slow down the process.
What about attitude changer? I mean,
it does slow down just your
frustration.
Yeah. Anything, gates needing to be open. Sometimes we'll go there and we're walking around. That we're going to go into the bulkhead because we do our work in the basement, and people will have the back gate locked. Now they got to get a key and all this stuff. It doesn't seem like much. Moving breakable items out of the work area. In the work area, I want to advise homeowners. There are different projects. There are projects that are going to take a day or two, and there are projects that are going to take a month or two, or a year.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck on those. I've been through one of those, and those are fun. But building a house for a year it's an experience. Everybody should have to go through.
Yeah.
But if it's a short job, and you go in, that work area, you should view that work area for that day or two as totally off limits, and that it's no longer your home, it's someone else's.
Right.
And you've got to have that attitude.
It's a job site.
On the other hand, so to prepare for that job, you might want to, ahead of time, figure things out like, okay, I'm going to have how many men here? Maybe you want to ask your contractor, how many people are on the crew?
Right.
I would even ask their names. And I'll tell you why. Because when I get that first day and I'm going to meet them, having the names ahead of time, and then who introduces themselves, I immediately know that these are the people the company sent.
Right.
And it also makes the crew feel good that I'm interested enough in them that I know their names.
And I'll tell you, if the company owner or the person who's proposing this job can identify themselves with the employees, that sends a nice message to say that there's unity. They are a team.
Right.
So yeah, interesting. The questions you ask or the answers you get could tell you a lot.
Yeah. So now you might decide, okay, what areas of the house am I going to let the crew have access to or not? And that's always an uncomfortable thing in the morning when you finally, the crew, you're meeting them face to face. You got to be prepared in your mind ahead of time before you meet them. Now, give you an example. You got some crews that are in a house a day or two, and like Pioneer, we have a company policy that says we don't use the facilities unless they're in the basement, because we don't want to track dirt up into the home, and we don't want to impose on people's space.
Right.
So we have setups in our trucks for that purpose. Or the guys go down to the store or
and
whatever.
I've seen some contractors bring the actual outdoor facilities, and they have it dropped off. And when the project's over, for those projects that go for a week or two, it makes perfect sense.
But if you say you're going to allow them to use a bathroom, the one you want them to use, you got to have in your mind, prepare that bathroom. Maybe even make sure there's extra towels and ones that you don't care too much about, so they get dirty. So they get dirty, you know.
I have a twofold question, and one I'm going to ask immediately. Maybe you should remove personal items out of it.
Absolutely.
Medicines, anything that you would find that.
You're absolutely right. Why would you leave temptation there for anybody to be accused of anything? So remove them. They shouldn't even be there.
Yeah, toothbrushes, brushes, things of that nature. My second question is in the same category. Do you leave your home while you have a contractor working there?
It depends on how much you trust him.
Okay, so that's
it really depends on how much you trust them. Now, my customers, after 30 years, my customers trust my guys in their home with no problems at all. We do it all day long. We're working in the basement. We built a reputation. It all depends on the trust that you have with that contractor. The other thing you want to do is make sure that the crew, you're preparing your children for this crew. Think about it. We're not even, just imagine young children waking up one day and all of a sudden there's this big truck and 3 guys they don't know, strangers in the house, and they have no clue what's going on.
No, it's stress. It's stress.
So you gotta go through and explain to the level that the child can understand that mommy and daddy are having, you know, some work done on the house, and for the next couple of days we've got some guests and we've got to stay out of their way so we don't, you know, and so their names are so and so, so and so, and so and so, and then when the introductions happens in the morning, introduce your child to the crew. If you want to, you know, but that lowers the fear of the child.
I'll tell you this, Steve, what you're saying makes absolute sense, and what I'm hearing you say is, you know, have a plan not only with your children, but by having that upfront agreement, you can now set an expectation for the entire family that this process is going to start on this day and it will finish on this day. So in their minds, it's not ongoing. It's when is this going to end? You have light at the end of the tunnel, and we'll get through it. So the upfront agreement and having it in writing and understanding what the goals are you know, need to, or going to be met each day puts everybody on a timeline, so to speak.
What about pets? I mean, I've gone into houses where when my men went down in the basement with me and to do our job, and we started the jackhammer, I'll never forget, this cat came off of this shelf on a high shelf that I didn't even know she was there. She came right at me and scared me really bad. And I think I couldn't tell if she was more scared than me or I was more scared of her. But you know, dogs, some dogs just don't like the noise, and they don't, and you know, there's constant barking, and so if you're going to have a short-term project, maybe it's best to put the dog in a kennel. If he doesn't like loud noise, or the cat, maybe go to see, you know, the grandma or something.
You don't want the folks working at your house to be afraid every morning or having to dodge through the yard to get to there. So if your dog has a tendency of being a good dog, which protects your home, and you know, it's challenging for that contractor to get past that, you know, white picket fence.
It's everybody's a little stressed. Think about aquariums and fish. If you're using saws and loud noise, these animals, you know, these they're not used to that, so it's different for them. So they get stressed. So you got to kind of minimize as much stress as you can.
And believe it or not, it may sound little, but these are things, you know, that could make a difference in not only the fact of getting the contractor done on time, but, you know, overall quality, overall experience.
Right. If the contractor comes to your house now, you're all prepared. I want to say, I can never understand why people who have us do work in a basement, knowing that we're coming in and breaking the floor with jackhammers, would have anything of value in the work area to begin with. If it was my house, I would want all those valuables out.
Right.
Like the lady who told me that, you know, this was her grandmother's priceless vase that I broke. Well, I said, well, why was it behind the washer machine? You know, when we moved the washer, it broke, and I'm thinking, if it's so priceless, wouldn't you have it upstairs? I mean,
so you're talking about damage, and also, you know, why you said it earlier, why create temptation? So
I always say on our contracts, homeowner to move small and breakable items. You know, our guys will go in, they'll move shelving that's heavy, workbenches, things like that. But the small stuff, I like to let the homeowner do that, because you know what? I don't like anyone messing with my desk. I know where everything is.
Right.
And a homeowner is the same way.
Right.
And if we move their stuff,
absolutely,
now we're gonna stress them out. I'd much rather them move it. They know where it is, and they can put it back where it belongs.
Right.
So
Yeah.